Dolphins stand to unite. Miami stands to fight. Lights burn bright. From the water they rise, fins cut the air. Storming fields.
My second quarter update. Evan, I don't want to hear out of you. You didn't have confidence. The rest of us are cheering. You sulk.
Oh, I had to throw it. Mom sent me that video, and I said, I'm posting this. You'll love this. You'll love this. Direct message
I
from
love her.
FINS
I
Talk,
love her.
Tammy
I
from
love her.
Miami.
I love
Hello,
Tammy.
everybody, and welcome to the Miami
Love you,
Dolphins
Tammy.
Game Show here on FTSN. I'm Bobby FINS Talk. That's Finstanza.
I'm done.
We are
I'm done.
celebrating. That's it, right? That's it. We're
I'm
good.
done.
We can wrap it up. The Miami Dolphins post game. The Dolphins move to 4-6 on the season after a 34-19 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, a good win for Daniel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Daniel Berry of Sports Highlights. Orion in the house. DSG Label. Janu Smith. Devon Achen. Fire. Yes. What a game for the Miami Dolphins. Before we what a week for football this Sunday. I mean, my goodness, there were some good games going on. Before we get into that, though, Evan, your day, you had hockey and all that. How you doing, brother?
Hockey was a blast. My kid, there's been some adjustments. I'll tell you about that offline. But my kid is on a different team. I've taken a step back, and because there were some issues, not with me, other things, and I sort of took a step back. Anyway, so I love you, Tammy. So he played today. Great game. Picked up the victory. The team he's part of is now 6-1, first in the division across the cities of the greater area of Montreal, which is great. So he's having a blast. He's trying a new position. He's developing. The kids are having fun. I was watching the game, obviously, when he wasn't on the ice, or I was kept on looking down, or I was listening, and so was he when he wasn't playing. But no, I have a lot to rant about. I do. I have plenty to rant about.
Trust me, I already got the spoiler alert. Again, love these guys to death, but I don't know how many times I've exited that group chat and it keeps popping back up in my feed. They got plenty to rant about. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Okay. But all to say is, no, I had a great afternoon. It's not. I said this to you. I won't be upset when they win. I don't ever get upset with a Dolphins victory. I'm not ranting yet. I'm just answering your question. But I'm doing great. My kid had a great time playing hockey. I went to had a good afternoon, had some good dinner, went out again with my kids to go watch some other friends play hockey, got to follow up on the games, followed the zone, watch the different stuff in the NFL, get crucified. Can I just tell you, I don't care who anybody is, fantasy has been the worst and most uncomfortable football season I've ever experienced. Between the injuries and the unexpected things that happen during games, it is so unpredictable, fantasy this year. It's not even fun because you're
not lying. It's crazy. I thought I was projected to win the last game, but
forget it.
Patrick Mahomes has not been a fantasy thing this year. It's been such a way. So Russell Wilson's been having a decent year on fantasy numbers. So I was like, I'm going to start Russell this week because Patrick is going to face against the Buffalo Bills, and he has a great game, and Russell has a bad game, and I was like, you just can't win. But you know who does win? Who did win? The Miami Dolphins at home at Hard Rock, 34-19. Scotty in the house. Scotty says it was a fun game. We are still developing. Our defense is soft though. Unfortunately, our D line is solid, but outside the defense and Weaver are disappointing. Very quick, we'll get into that. But it would have been a day for the tight ends. Janu Smith was the leading receiver for the Dolphins. 9 receptions, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. Wide open there at the end. That was great. But how about Brock Bowers, dude? Very quick. Brock Bowers was as advertised. 13 receptions, 126 yards, a touchdown. Dude, he's not on the Dolphins. I know that. But, God, that dude's going to be he's going to grow up to be a stud in this league. What did you think of Brock Bowers when you got this game? I know you were busy today, but
I saw most of it. Whenever I saw Brock Bowers, honestly, when the way the game went, and we'll talk about it, Brock Bowers was the best player on the field today on both sides of the ball. He was the game breaker on both sides of the ball. There was not one player who stood out more throughout the course of the game, consistently keeping drives alive than Brock Bowers.
The Raiders, once they find
Michael Mayer is who we all loved and Michael Vogel loved from Notre Dame last year is now a backup to him.
Well, but think about this. He's going to be when I'm watching him today, I'm going, this dude is the future of the tight end position. That's what I saw today. We all thought it was going to be Kyle Pitts, and I still have hope for Kyle Pitts. But in regards of being successful in his career, but that dude Brock Bowers is you're right. I thought about that, Scotty. The key to the game was not allowing Minshew to look like an all-pro, and there were times where he did. I mean, there was times where I thought of you. I was like, gosh, dude, he called it. He almost jinxed it. Brian Bloomer in the house. Chiefs lost. 72 Dolphins live on. Yes, sir.
Brian Bloomer's a buddy of mine.
I'm going to play a Finstanza. Who said it? Who said the Chiefs were going to lose? That was me.
By the way, they did the Raiders cover 0. The one thing I will say, because we gave props to Spags in the pregame show. Spags, that's on Spags. How do you not think that on 4th and 2, if you're Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson, they're going to run on 4th and 2. They are looking for you to cover everybody, and you leave them wide open with their speed and their prowess. They're going to knock you right over. Like that, they did not. They had no one covering Josh Allen on that play. Nothing.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills for sure. I mean, a lot of people thought they were.
I'm going to go on my rant soon.
I know they're going to. The Bills again. A lot of people thought that they were going to fall off after this year, but they look better with Stephon Diggs off the roster, and Josh Allen looks a little more comfortable. But let's get into this game. Let me run through the numbers very quick, and then we'll go ahead and get through everything here.
We have plenty of time tonight.
Let me see here. Tua Tagovailoa finishes the game 28 of 36 for 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. Devon Achane, 17 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. Let's see. No one really other than him was leading. I mean, Malik Washington had 7 yards and a carry. Jonnu Smith was our leading receiver with 6 receptions, 101 yards, almost averaging 17 yards per catch, 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill right after that, 7 receptions, 61 yards, a touchdown. Waddle with 2 and 37. Achane 4 of 32. Hill actually caught 2 of 28. Odell 2 of 13. Malik was the what's this called? What's the pass you hate? I'm losing my brain.
The check down.
The check down guy. 3 of 11.
I hate it.
Agent 21 touches today. Carry the offense. Evan.
It happened right away. First drive of that game. That check down. I know. Nonsense. What is this? You get 5 yards and then you go backwards. What is that stupidity?
Hold on. Wait a minute. Let's celebrate a win, and we will get to you. I know what you got. I've seen it. We'll roll into it. Just wait a minute. Jordan Brooks, leading tackler, 8 tackles. How about Jalen Ramsey with a clutch INT? What a great INT. I mean, that ball was going down, and he
did not cover Brock Bowers well today. He got burned a lot.
Again, he sealed
String
the deal.
cheese mozzarella defense today.
Sealed the deal. Miami wins the game.
He carried the offense. I'm so proud of our offensive output today. It was fantastic today.
34 points.
Jesus Christ.
34
They were all garbage time. Don't give me that crap. It
Evan,
was 19.
I know.
It was a close game. It was within a touchdown till the last 8 or 6 or 7 minutes of the game. Don't give me the 34 points. It was garbage time.
Who cares?
No, it does matter.
No, it does not. A win.
Yes, it does.
Won, and it was a bigger win. They put when it was time to seal the deal, they sealed the deal. The defense
sealed the deal.
The line broke apart. Tua had to throw off his back foot to open Jonnu Smith, not checking it down, and it was taking opportunity. But we're gonna go, you can't do that against the good team. No. If the Dolphins have lost today, I would have muted my mic and let you rant away. You're not gonna sit here and come after a win and start doing this. The Dolphins did their job today. They did their job.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
The first 2 minutes of the game, you're going off about how bad it sucks. You don't let the game play out. Guess what, Evan? The game is not won in the first quarter. There are 4 quarters in a football game. 4 quarters in a football game. And the Dolphins did their job and won. Oh, but they won against a bad team. Here's a news break for you. They haven't beat bad teams this year. They're finally doing it. They're doing their job. And it wasn't a 23-15 win. It was a 34-19 win. I had it 38-17. Fish Tank had it 32-17. You had it 23-20. 23-20 Raiders. I hope you like bird because you're going to eat crow. The Dolphins did their job, and they won. Devon Achane was one of the leading factors of this offense. And what happened, Evan? What happened? They won. They won the game. And guess what? Just because they weren't up 38-0 after the first quarter doesn't make them, oh, God, this team is trash. I told you. I said it. I was right. You were wrong. Dolphins won. Achane led the game with touches at 17 touches, and he had 4 receptions. All that ranting you did about Achane, and what did he do? Tyreek Hill had 7 catches today. You should be happy. You should be very happy today. You should be going, you know what? This is what you should say. You know what? I'm glad that Tyreek Hill, I don't even know what that means. Type 4 and 6, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? The season's not over. We're in the midpoint of the season. We'll talk about that at the end of the year. 4 and 6. They showed a graphic today about things that we don't know what's going to go down at the end of the season, but we're going game by game here. And today, the Dolphins did exactly what you would want them to do, except win. And the only reason why you're pissed about them winning, because that might mean McDaniel might have to survive the year. But let's put that aside for a minute. Let's talk about what they did, because you said if Devon Achane is the leading guy and he has more receptions than Tyreek Hill, we're going to lose this game. Well, Tyreek had 7 catches. We won. Jonnu Smith had 6, 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. All of last year, Mike McDaniel has to use the tight ends. He can't use a tight end. Oh, blah, 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 blah. We have a tight end. 2 touchdowns. And we won. Devon Achane, the mid-tier guy. Every time he touched the ball, it was positive yardage. Every time. And the first drive was all him. When Jalen Wright touched the ball, dead as a doornail. And I like Jalen White. You could say, oh my God, all you want. But whatever you're going to pull out of your hat tonight, there's not much to say, except the Dolphins have won. And guess what? Again, there are some things we're going to clean up. They have to clean it up. No doubt. No doubt. Because, again, they're going to face a Patriots team that lost today. I don't have the score in front of me. They're going to play a Patriots team that they're going to have to do better against on a home crowd, but division game. But they're going to have to play better than they do against the Packers, no doubt. But they did what they needed to do. Because I would say you have a lot more to complain about. You would have a lot more to complain about if it was a 23-15 run against this 2-7 Raiders team. But no, it was a 34-19 win. It was a big win. You should be proud of this team. You should be proud. And whatever you're going to say is going to be wrong. Devin, don't worry, be happy. They always start good, end badly. So let's hope this is a reverse effect this time. Season starts bad, ends it good. It's true. We know we understand what the more crow for Finstanza. We understand what the Dolphins do at the end of the season, but I'm not worried about December right now. I'm worried about game by game. And today they did their job. If you're going to call them out when they lose, you better give them the flowers when they win. You better give them the flowers when they win. And you're going to do that. Oh, okay, just watch. Wait when you're talking. Wait till you're talking. Wait till you're talking. Because when you talk all that crap last week after the game after they won, and I let you do it, and then you talked all that crow stanza, and after you talked all that crap this morning, I can understand if it was a field goal win, 34-31, I mute my mic and let you go. And we'd have to listen to 45 minutes of you going off. But they did their job. They won the game. They won the game, and they won against a bad team, and as a good team should beat a bad team. They did their job. God, you should have wore all black. I don't know why you're wearing what you're wearing. You should have wore all black. Come on, man. I cannot understand how you could come away. Okay, go.
Go where? I'll go. No problem. Congratulations, Miami. You beat a 2-7 football team.
Yeah, how did they do against other bad teams? They've lost Colts, and they won today.
I'm being calm. You're not even going to hear me raise my voice.
Yeah, but you're not going to sit there and say, "Oh, congratulations, you beat a bad team."
Let's just look at a bad team all year. Let me just pinpoint. Congratulations, you're 4-6. A win is a win. That's fantastic.
Better than 3-7.
But Mr. QB, I love your stats. They're phenomenal. But what has he not learned? On the first drive of the game, we're getting down the field. The greatest show on turf takes 8 minutes to get down the field. And if it wasn't for the Raiders being ridiculous and taking 2 boneheaded penalties, the drive would have been over way before.
Yes,
that's part of football. That's part of football.
That's right.
Then Tua, what do you need to learn what not to do after 5 seasons? Not use your head and get rid of the goddamn football. Now, Tua, I'm proud of Audrey, and I'm proud of my daughter for getting 22 of 25. That's 88% on their math test last week. But for you to have an 88% fumble percentage, that's fantastic, Tua. I can't wait for you to do that in Green Bay. I can't wait for you to do that against the next week. You're going to get your butt whipped. I don't care. There's no other guy in the NFL that continues to fumble the football. You crucify Raheem Mostert for doing it, Mike McDaniel. And you know what my favorite line of the game was? When they were at the field together, and the broadcast like they love each other, they're best friends. Even the broadcasters were bringing up the unhealthy relationship between quarterback and coach. I love it. Then they have the ball. They have the ball heading into the second half. What did I say? What happens every game when we have the football going into the half? Mike McDaniel makes 2 of the most boneheaded calls I've ever seen in my life in terms of play calls, kills the clock, nonsense, while letting the drive continue. Another mismanaged game in that sense. My concern, Bobby, is if you go look at the NFL, you look at the teams they're chasing, like the Denver Broncos, who I was monitoring at the 4:00 game, who have a rookie quarterback, who have a rookie quarterback who had better stats than Tua. But I don't care about stats. I really don't. Russell Wilson didn't have great stats today. No, I don't. He's 28-33. Yay! 288 yards. Yay! 3 touchdowns. Bravo.
Doesn't matter. What's the scorecard say?
They didn't punt.
What's the scorecard? What's the scorecard say? Come on.
You said okay. Let's go back to.
I said 38-17. It was 34-19.
No. What? Don't play with your words, Bobby Melendez.
No, I said
this is going to be a statement game, and they are going to dominate this football game.
I thought they did.
It was 24 win. It was 24-19.
Who cares?
With 10 minutes left.
That is no statement. It's a game. The game is not won in the second or third quarter.
No,
you're hanging on to the end of the end of the first half. The 2 bad calls by McDaniel.
10-6.
What did the finale?
No, because this football team, if they want to prove that they could do something the rest of this season, winning these games against this poorest team, the way they're winning these football games, I think that's what it is. Their 3 wins are very tight games where they're keeping teams in the game. They are playing zone defense, vanilla, string cheese, mozzarella defense, and the offense. Tua even said it in his press conference today. We've had to adapt to the defense, and we're now playing a different kind of football. Against the other teams, they are not going to win football games this way. So all we're doing is we're preparing for the inevitable because we're fighting for the 7th seed. And what are we going to do? This is not going to last. This might be fun, yay! But I'm sorry, this is boring football. If you want to win this type of football, you don't need Tyreek Hill. You don't need Jalen Waddle.
Who cares? No. What do you want? A 70-20 win every week?
No.
Well, apparently, what do you want Tyreek to do? Have 200 yards and 3 touchdowns? You feel good about yourself?
Is this an offensively built team or is this a defense built team? What's their identity? What's their identity?
What's their identity last year? What was their identity last year?
Most of the season, they're an offensive juggernaut.
No, but what was their identity on offense? What was their identity?
Score first and win.
Through the air. Through the air, not on the ground.
Today wasn't on the ground either.
What did that? What?
Today wasn't on the ground. Also, they only had 80 yards of rushing total.
71 from Ancient, the mid-tier running back.
Bravo.
So you called him mid-tier.
Bravo.
Right?
Bravo.
Right?
He got most of the carries to begin with. He was the dominating factor in the first half.
He's elite. He's one of the top 10 players on this team.
I'm fantastic. I can't wait to see him in the cold weather get mauled by.
But Green Bay. This is what you're saying. Here's what you're saying.
This is not a winning formula.
Today, I'm talking about today. Today's win.
You want to know why?
You're talking about December.
This is not the
You're
first year of the rebuild.
Green Bay.
This is not the first year of the rebuild. We've been going through this for 24 years.
Oh my goodness. VHD label saying it. Evan, we know, but we won today.
Who cares?
Half our life is saying it. We've seen this movie before. Actually, we did it because the 2 years before, the Dolphins were 8-3, not 4-6.
Great.
It is what it is. Evan does have his own show. I mean, it's
not anymore.
But
not after this show.
Well, I put the bandwagon in the shop. It's closed, but there will be.
Let me put it to you this way.
Yeah.
What continues to frustrate me
McDaniel's still the coach.
This is a team that you said
in
the pregame show should be 6-3.
Yes.
This is not a 6-3 built football team. This is not a fun way to play football. There is no understanding of what is going on in the game. They're figuring it out as they go. There's no game plan, Bobby. There was no game plan. They literally kept the crappiest team in the NFL right now between the Giants and the Raiders. The Raiders are falling apart, and they kept them in the game. They were literally one score away from beating us. It never should have been that close. Last week's never should have been that close. With the talent they have on offense, they are playing, let's get at least this amount. Let's survive the game. That's not Miami Dolphins football. That is not going to last. Like somebody said before, yes, a win is a win. But you want to know what? Going against a mid-level team, you go against Pittsburgh like this, you go against Baltimore like this, Cincinnati like this. Okay. I'm just saying, you're going to get your butt clocked, because the problem was they got the lead first. If they didn't have the lead first, they were toast. They took the lead and they maintained that lead. Great, but it was bend not break defense and getting just enough. If Tua's stats are so fantastic, 288, 3 touchdowns, why was it so close for so long? It was only his stats significantly improved on one play with Jonnu Smith where they played cover 0 and they got burned. That was it. It was one play that turned the game around. Fantastic. Great. I'm happy the Dolphins won.
You want them to put their foot down their throats and take the win. Where Miami plays on offense and defense, whether you like it or not, and it's obvious, they play prevent. When's
the last time they had to play over 20 yards? When? On one throw. This is not long lasting.
They did it a lot last year, and how did it finish?
But every team does a little bit of it. There's no balanced attack on here. I was watching the game and I was falling asleep because these long drives are not the way they're going to win football games, because against mid-level teams, they are going to get their butts whipped. If it wasn't for the penalties, the moronic penalties of the Raiders, they wouldn't have scored first today. They lucked out in the first half to be up by 4. When they made it 24-12, that next drive with Abdullah, that was one of the most putrid defensive drives I've ever seen. They could have, at that moment, the defense should have put their throat down in the fourth quarter. They literally took 7 minutes off the clock and scored on us. That is not a good football team. You took 6 + 7 minutes to let them come back and make it a 1-score game. That is not Miami Dolphins good football. 6-7 minute drives on your defense, 7 minute drives to get down on the other team. You want to know what? You want to do that against Pittsburgh? You want to do that to keep Josh Allen off the field?
Actually, they're not, Harrison. No, they're not. They're growing. They're not dropping. They're growing.
My point is, the way they do this to slow down the game, you can do that against good teams because you want to keep their best players off the field. You should have had no trouble against this defense. no trouble against this defense to score points. And until the interception and the play by Jonnu Smith, you kept this a very tight-lipped game where it could have gone either way. The Miami Dolphins did not have control of this game. They did not have control of this game at any point until the fourth quarter. And if you think playing a 2-8 team, a 2-17, that's a formula to go against any team every week, because they don't adjust
every week. I'm not. You're talking about every week. Don't put words in my mouth. You're giving a shit about the playoffs and Kansas City, who we don't have on our schedule, or the Denver Broncos. You are, not me. I'm talking about the Patriots. I'm talking week to week.
Because I've seen this story before with him. It looks great. Although his stats are great. Tua is now a 500 quarterback. What was impressive to you today? What did Mike McClay? I'll put it this way. I'll challenge you. What did Tua do today that impressed you? What did he do as a quarterback that impressed you to the point, well, wow, he is now a better quarterback than he was last year? What did Mike McDaniel do as a coach today to tell me that he's a better coach than he was last year?
I don't judge. I'm not going to. That's at the end of the year, brother. I don't know why everything
you
has
think
to
the
be.
team is the team any? Is it you see progression with this football team?
Did they beat a bad team? Have they beat bad teams this year?
Yes. One.
No.
They won.
So and look, and again, now look. They did their job. If this was a 23-20 win for Miami, like you predicted a 23-20 win for the Raiders, then yeah, I would say, you know what? Damn, they did this against a bad Raiders team. It was 34-19.
Congratulations, Miami. You're going to the Super Bowl.
Would you shut the hell up and let me finish my point? Jeez, Lou, dude. Like, come on, my man. Like, my God. What did Tua do today to show that he got better than last year and he's going to be better? He won the game. I always told you this. I don't give a damn about any other quarterback. I don't care about any other football team. I care about this team. I care about Sundays and Mondays or Thursdays when they're playing. If they win today, that's what I give a damn about. That's what I did about. The line broke up. The line broke apart. Tua threw off his back foot. Did he throw an INT or did he throw a forced pass to Tyreek or to Agent or whatever and throw an INT? No. What did he do? He saw a wide open Jonnu Smith, threw off his back foot and got it to Jonnu Smith, and Smith took advantage of a bad defensive play and ran a touchdown. Oh, but it's a bad defensive play. Oh, but they gave up so many bad penalties. That's because they're a bad football team. Well, here's a newsflash for you, Kazemoto. Guess what? You got to do that against bad football teams. Good teams do that against bad teams. Dolphins don't do it against bad teams. They did it today. So take the flowers, get the flowers out of the vase there, and hand it to Miami and say, you know what? You did your job. You did what was expected. Because guess what, Evan? If you would have came on here and go, how could the Raiders give up this pass interference and this penalty, and then he punches Eichenberg in the face? Miami had all these opportunities. The interception by Jalen Ramsey, the open field pass to Jonnu Smith. Jonnu drops it. How can Miami not take advantage of these opportunities? That's what you'd be saying now. I told you so. McDaniel, he can't. No, don't say no, because everybody's been watching you for weeks now. Don't say no. Because you'd be using this all. But now that they won because of this.
Bobby.
Now that they won because of this.
They think they're greater than what they are.
What?
They are having so much fun that Tua Tagovailoa is sitting in the goddamn press conference room asking Jonnu Smith, what's the difference between tight end and flag football coach? They are so loosey-goosey about this. It's absolutely unbelievable. They're on cloud nine that they beat the Las Vegas effing Raiders. They don't understand that this is ridiculous. Who cares? It's one effing football game. You have so much more to do. If I was up there, Tua, we still have a job to do. Is the job finished? Chris Greer, is the job finished? No, he's sitting in the back having jokes about this. You should not be happy with this. They didn't play their best game. Instead,
when have they played their best game?
No, but they think it's a game.
No. When? How could you say that with a 4-6 football season after what we've watched? What we've watched all season with this football team. How could you say that? After seeing what you've seen this football season, for them to come out the way they did today and say, how could you be satisfied with this win? Are you serious? Like, goodness gracious, dude. Come on. I mean, what would, okay. Here's a question for you. And I'm going to talk about today. Not, what did you see today that tells you, other than, it's getting closer to your nightmare for McDaniel remaining head coach going into next season. What told you to What should have the Dolphins done today where you would have said, you know what? I would have felt a whole lot better about this win, and I'd be celebrating with you this Miami Dolphins victory, which I've complained all year about not getting. That I've been miserable all the year because they've been sucking. Now that they finally get a good win, I'm still complaining. What could have the Dolphins done today that would have made you sit here now and go, you know what? Even though it's against a bad Raiders team, I like what they did here. I like what they did here, and I feel better about going against the Patriots next week. Not about Kansas City, who we have no clue if they're going to play them or not. But because they win today, what would have made you feel good here besides going on this rant like as if they lost? Because I feel like switching everything up, going Dolphins lose, because apparently they did. You watched a different football game. So tell me what would have made you feel better, Finstanza. Please enlighten me. I'm going to mute my mic so I don't interrupt you. And I'm going to let you tell me what could have the Dolphins done to make you feel better.
It's going to take me 10 seconds.
That's a lie.
Tua not fumbling the football. Them scoring points heading into the half and not wasting 2 plays. And not allowing, when they took a 24-12 lead, wasting 6 minutes in the fourth quarter to look like a string cheese mozzarella defense playing soft zone to let them score and make it a 1-score game. That continues to show me that they are not learning from the first 10 games of the season, where someone continues to hold the football for 5 to 6 seconds instead of getting rid of it. A team that does not take advantage of the time on the clock and waste over a minute plus to at least get a field goal heading into the half to give them a 13-6 lead versus a 10-6 lead, which would have made a bigger difference in the game. And when you're winning 24-12 and taking a big advantage heading into the fourth quarter, because you ate the first 4.5 minutes of it, not to play string cheese, vanilla mozzarella defense. Show me something, a complete football game. Because sorry, Bobby, they did not play 60 minutes today. They had moments, but they did not play 60 minutes. They kept it very tight, but then when they could have done it, I said to you last week, I am proud that they win football games. Great, a win is a win, but they are not showing growth as a football team. They played better last week than they did this week. This week, they took a team that was not on the upswing, that had made changes on the offensive coordinator position, that had injured players, and what did they do? Tua continues to be a moron with the football. McDaniel cannot manage the clock heading into the half, and Anthony Weaver goes to sleep for 6 minutes in the fourth quarter. Because had they not iced it with the Jonnu Smith play, great. I'm happy they did it. I'm happy they iced the game. But it shouldn't even have been there. That should have been a 3-and-out, and because you took the lead, I am tired of the fact that they continue to do the little things that against any team that is not below average, they could do. This should have been a 34-12 win or a 34-15 win, not this kind of nonsense.
This is why you guys should never trust Finstanza. He said 10 seconds. Can someone tell me exactly how many minutes that was?
In dog years.
I like that one. Let me just full disclaimer,
Come on,
guys.
Bobby, let me ask you something.
My second quarter update, Evan. I don't want to hear out of you. You didn't have confidence. The rest of us are cheering. You sulk.
You're damn right, Mom. You're damn right. Did you get that, Finstanza? Did you get it? All right.
Bobby, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a very serious question, though?
Of course.
When you saw that play.
Which one?
The pocket collapse.
Mm-hmm.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Holding the ball with one hand in the goddamn red zone. When is that moron going to learn to get rid of the football? When is he going to learn? He's not going to learn. He is so stubborn. It's absolutely stupid. Get rid of the god, because what would have happened? You know what would have happened. It's unbelievable. He is getting saved by his offensive line paying attention. Yet the pocket collapse, play for another play. He's trying to play hero football. And now, yes, great win. But what is he doing there exactly?
Wait, what?
A win is a win.
No. You didn't just say that.
Yes, I did.
What? No, you did not. You said a great win?
I never said great.
You just said
never
great.
Said great win.
I'm not freaking crazy. Everyone's watching. We have 7 wins.
No.
What is it? You just said great win.
False slip. Freudian slip.
You lied sack. Whoa.
Freudian slip. Freudian slip.
Oh, win is a win. You say great
Tua's
win.
not perfect. No, Tua's not perfect. I don't care. 20. Go find me another quarterback that has fumbled the ball in 22 of his last 25 games. Bobby.
He broke character.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby. Name me another player who would still be starting a quarterback position who has 22 fumbles in 25 games. He's not the running back. He's the quarterback.
I'm not saying Tua's elite or he's the best.
People are.
I don't
care. 28 of 33. A 128 passer rating. Who gives a crap what his passer rating?
I don't listen. I'm not saying that. Again, yeah, you know what? I'd rather have him 28 of whatever for 288 yards, 3 touchdowns than 15 of 35 for 107 for 1 touchdown and 3 picks. Can't we be happy that, you know what, when the pocket broke down, yes, you're right. Guess what? Holding that ball a little too damn long and not getting it away and stop playing tippy-tip shoes and getting rid of the damn football instead of getting sacked, it could cost you against a game like the Green Bay Packers that you want to look 2 weeks ahead of. Yeah, it will. It should. And you can't have that against them. But guess what? In spite of those mistakes that you're bringing up, in spite of that, they still came away with a win. And yes, it's against the 2-7 Las Vegas Raiders. But you know what? They couldn't even beat the Colts a few weeks back. They couldn't get past the Cardinals a few weeks back. Now Miami does it. They do their job. They won in spite, just like last week on Monday Night Football, on primetime, that they can't get it done. They did it in spite of the game not being perfect. Because guess what? There's very few teams that play perfect football, Evan. It might surprise you. I might be breaking some news to you that a lot of teams, 32 teams, don't play perfect football a lot of times. You brought up the Chiefs, who just lost today. You said it earlier today or the last show that, the Chiefs, they were undefeated, but were they playing perfect offense? No, but their defense was showing up. So what is it? They're not going to play. What good teams do, and I'm not going that far because they're still 4-6. But you know what good teams do? They take advantage of the bad teams. When the bad teams make bad plays, bad penalties, they take advantage and they win. Guess what? They usually win 34-19. Okay? Miami did their job against a bad team today. Oh, but it's not that great. We shouldn't feel that good because guess what? If this was the Chiefs and not the Raiders, we would have lost. But guess what? We didn't face the Chiefs. We faced the Raiders and we won. If Miami would have lost today against the Las Vegas Raiders when they were 3-7, I would be playing your part. You would not be able to match me on what I would be able to do right now. I would be going off. It would be tomorrow. Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel should be fired. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't be. They're 3-6. The road's long ahead. And trust me, Evan, you could, for next week when they beat the Patriots, if and when they beat the Patriots, and you're going to go off on a tirade on postgame about why they should have lost, and maybe if they would have done this against, eventually when they do face that team, if it's the Packers or the Niners, whoever, and they get their ass kicked, you're going to sit here and go, what have I been saying for 5 weeks? What have I been telling you the past few weeks? I told you. So yes, keep going. Rant on. Eventually you're going to be right. And you could self-proclaim your greatness. But right now, today.
Do you guys think I feel good about this? I have spent a fortune on this merchandise behind me, including Tua's jersey. I just don't like the laid-backness of this football team. They're still too laid back for me. They're still too... They don't have that killer instinct, and that bothers me. It goes back to they just don't have that killer instinct till it's really, really, really the last second. They leave it there. There's no we're going to put it on your throat today. And I'm not comparing other teams, Bobby, but the NFL is a very short season. Every game matters. Fantastic. They dug themselves a hole, but don't you want to see that they're on the upswing? Not that they're steadily getting there. They have not, to me, wins are wins. Yes, fantastic. But I'd like to see some progression in this team.
You didn't see progression?
Overall? No.
Well, I mean, again, I mean, should I go over their schedule this year?
They're keeping it simple. They're playing boring. They're playing, like you just said,
guess what?
They're playing 1972 football.
So, guess what?
That doesn't last in the NFL.
It does in December. Running the ball. Remember last year? Remember the talk we did on?
They don't run the football, Bobby. 60 yards in a playoff game, you're not going to win. You just brought up playoffs. I answered your question. You want to talk about tonight? Fine. Today, great. That's not going to win you in the playoffs. The way they ran the ball today, that's not going to win you in the playoffs. The checkdowns are not going to win you in the playoffs.
How many punts did Jake Bailey kick today?
Oh, 0. Fantastic. Yeah, because they were on the field for 10 minutes of drive.
Uh-huh.
Guess what? That's part of the Miami Dolphins' identity. 10-minute drives. That's them.
Not last year. Guess what? They'd score it fast, and guess what? The other team would come on, kill the drive, and then take the victory. And that's what Miami fell in the playoffs and then got bounced. This year, now they know how to extend plays. All they need to do is what they figured out last year, is how to make these deep balls and start getting back to opening up the offense. Because they're going to remember, wait a second, we know how to stretch out a drive. We can know how – eventually Miami's going to figure that out. Because they already did. It's not like something new they got to learn. They just have to figure out how to make Tyreek the ball and set the field. But right now I'm going, this is another facet to this offense that could be used in December. Because guess what? They didn't have this last year to extend plays, to extend drives, to kill the clock. They're doing it. How could you look at it and go, oh, 10-minute drives, that's a bad thing? What? Excuse me? Because guess what? What was the score you said? 19-24? Was it not 24-19? And they had a 10-minute drive. Usually, you know what? If you would have scored quick, Raiders come, they score again because your mozzarella string cheese defense that you're bringing up would have let them score again possibly. And now you're looking at a closer game in the final minutes, except no, now you had a 10-minute drive. Then you finally scored. Now there's only 4 minutes left. And guess what? Your top guy that you're paying on defense just intercepted the ball and iced the game. Let's go ahead and bitch about that. Come on.
I'm not bitching about that. Did I criticize Jalen Ramsey? Did I criticize our stars on defense? I never criticized them.
What?
I never criticized
mozzarella string cheese defense is not a criticism.
The scheme of the defense, the linebackers, the secondary, except for Steeler and Campbell, 100%. The edge rushers were asleep today. All I'm saying to you right now, people want to leave the show and say I'm negative. Great, fantastic. Okay, guys, you guys can be guys. Go. Most of you who are on the show right now. Leave the show for all I care. I couldn't give a crap. I apologize to Bobby. I'll take a hiatus if you guys think I'm too negative. Go back to the bandwagon for 2.5 years, how I got crucified by Bobby and Steve Malloy and Brett Lagasse about the fact that I was so positive and giving excuses to McDaniel and giving excuses to Tua and giving excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. And then we show up and we crap our bed. And I say we're 8-3 and we're going to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. Oh, then they screw me over the last 2 seasons. I'm a hardened fan. I have the way they're playing right now, they're acting as if they're 8-3. And that's what pisses me off. Tua in that press conference today, acting the way he was acting, is an arrogance. That's not confidence. That's arrogance. That they are so proud of the victories they had right now. And as Bobby likes to say, is the job finished? No. The way they're playing, they're getting the victories. Great. They're doing enough to win. But is it something where I'm saying, wow, that is something that makes me happy, that makes me saying, wow, I see this team on the upswing? No, I see it's a victory. I don't see it as a positive victory. I see it as a victory. Do I see it as something that's going to lead us, something that's going to lead to, that's a formula that is positive for net? I understand, Bobby. But teams are always building for the future and seeing what the progression is. You saw today Brock Bowers. Now, as bad as they are, they know they have their stud tight end and stud Swiss Army knife on their team. They don't have their quarterback yet, but they're going to figure it out. They've made changes. They're going to figure that out. The team is a mess. They're in Vegas. I understand that. But the Miami Dolphins were told us 2 years ago after they hired Mike McDaniel and they got Tyreek Hill and they had Tua and they got Waddle and they got Ramsey and they got this and they got that they were going to be competing and with the Buffaloes and the upper echelon of the world. And when they're continuing to have these games now, when they are more healthy than they've been all season, with the exception of Bradley Chubb, and you're telling me that you're now 4-6 and you're happy with being in less than 1-score games, 2 games in a row with your most healthy team you've had all season, great with the victories. But if that is something that we should be proud of as a team that's in the 5th goddamn year of their rebuild, I'm sorry if that makes me negative. Sorry if that makes me negative. That I'm 5 years into a rebuild where I basically still don't know what this team is about.
Yeah, it was 2 scores. It wasn't 1 score. It was 2 scores.
It was 1 score with 10 minutes left in the football game.
No, but they won 2 scores.
I said at that moment, it should never have been there. What I'm saying is they keep teams in football games.
The game's not won in the third quarter.
Bobby, you expected this game to be over by halftime the way you called the game yesterday.
No, but I didn't.
When you were on FINS Talk today, you said this was going to be a statement win. They were going to dominate 38-17.
It was 34-19. It was 34-19. I mean, did anyone else see today that all quarterbacks are now doing the old stiff arm? Someone has tried to throw the ball the score.
You want to know what? My point is, I will show up here with my pom-poms next week, all excited, and then we'll talk about what? That we're all disappointed. We did the best we could this season. Great.
But you see, you treat every game like it's the last game of the year. You treat. Hold on, no,
because that's what the Dolphins have been spewing to us for 4 years. Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel have
Hank was close, yeah.
They've been spewing this the way they treat you talked about this last week and the week before, the amount of things that the fans do for this franchise and what they give us nothing back. You know what, did you guys look at, I don't know if you paid attention today. Did you look at the stands? Did you look at the capacity crowd? The stands were empty for most of the game. People aren't going to the games anymore. Why? Because this team is not fun to watch. This team is not exciting. They don't do anything for the fans.
No.
Yes.
The stands were empty because they haven't been winning games. I don't care. I don't give a damn if it was a 10.
And look how they treat their fans.
If the Dolphins were 13, they finished. Let's just say let's say they had a great year, and let's say they finish 13-4, right? But they won every game by 3 points. 10-7 was the average. Do you guys give a damn if every game was boring? Do you really think I would give a crap if every game was 10-7? If the Dolphins won with only 14 points, they were averaging. If they win, and they win like they're supposed to, like they were advertised to, I don't care. It doesn't need to be a 70-20 victory every goddamn week. They could win 23-15 every week. That game. I don't care. I don't listen. All I'm saying is, you said there's no fans around because they're boring. It's not that they're boring. It's that they're not winning. They won today. That's the point.
If they won last week, and this was an important football game, why were the stands half empty? If people are as positive as you right now, and you just want to see
positive,
no,
I'm talking about this game.
Yes, but if they were coming off a big victory on Monday Night Football, and they have still sold out season tickets, why were the stands half empty today? Half empty. You have the opportunity to go to 17 games a year. I guarantee you, if I went on StubHub today, I could have walked into that stadium for $25. That's an embarrassment for a football team.
But that's why you should put a winning product on the field. They haven't been doing it this year.
We're all hardened for 24 freaking years, and this is where they are, third year in the rebuild, where we're so proud of a statement game against a 2-7 team where we won the game in the fourth quarter. Great. Fantastic. Wonderful. I'm looking forward to almost making it to the 7th seed. It's great. Fantastic. But you wonder what? The one thing I will say is you look around the NFL today, and I'm not comparing our team. I'm looking at the NFL, and you were shocked at what the Denver Broncos, who got destroyed by us last year, and the majority of their team is different except for Bo Nix. The rest of the team is pretty much the same. You look at the Lions today. You look at all what's going around the NFL. They're playing. All I'm saying is that they should have. The way their team was built today, they should have destroyed this team. It shouldn't have even been close.
See, and this is the thing right here. First off, Chris, you and I are on the same. I'm 36, been a fan since 4 and 5 years old, so you and I are in the same boat.
I'm 42, so I've suffered longer than you.
Whoop de freaking do for you, pal. All I'm saying is, like Steve is saying, Evan, a lot of what you're saying is true in regards of the way this team is where it is right now. Like we're celebrating a Raiders. Somebody's checking on Finstanza right now. Hold on, we'll wait. Let him make sure he tells them that he's okay.
No.
But again, agreeing all of that, and acknowledging all of that, but we still won today, and it's still a win. And guess what? Miami has not been beating the bad teams. They beat a bad team today. I know that's let's go ahead and let's go give them their trophy now. I get that. But they haven't been doing it. That's the point. I don't treat every week like it's the last week of the season. That's why I tell you before the season when everybody's going, oh, Gruder's still the GM and McDaniel's still the coach. I'll talk to you about that at the end of the year. You know, let the season play out week to week. I take it week to week. Because guess what? You want to know the hard truth? For a lot of the people might be complaining, and for me, you were going back and forth. Eventually, you're going to be able to say, I told you so, because they haven't done it against a good team yet. All I'm saying, let's enjoy the win today. Doesn't mean they're going to make the playoffs. Playoffs. It doesn't mean they're going to beat Green Bay. It's a long road to go, but they did their job. They've won the last 2 weeks. That's all I'm saying. Week to week, that's all we got. Amen. That's what I'm saying. You know, we haven't been televised because we've been losing and we had grocery store clerks at quarterback while Tua was hurt. True that. You know, but again, I blame Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel for that. The quarterback hurt thing, I don't use that as an excuse because again, they were fine with Skylar Thompson and Mike White being the backup quarterbacks until they fired Mike White and benched Skylar for Huntley. Let's see. We still have a chance after we win today. How would we feel if we lost? I'd rather feel the way we sure. One game at a time. Steve Malloy is right on the money. And Chris Smith, that's what I'm saying, man. Again, they won today. They haven't been able to do that. And it's true there. You know, it is a pipe dream. Be healthy because this team can never stay healthy. And a wild card is a pipe dream. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to say this team's going to make it. I just like when we had that question a few weeks ago or a couple weeks ago, can the Dolphins run the table? I'm not ready to say that yet. They have a long road to go. While we digress on our fiery post game, in spite of a Dolphins win, because why not? That's what this post game's all about, raw emotion. Let's get into today's games and kind of go over this very quick. I knew when Finn Stanzer was quiet before the show, he was going to go off. It was too quiet. It's always the calm before the storm. I was nervous when I came on the show before post game. He was very quiet, doing exactly what he's doing now, looking at the screen. And I'm like, he's going to go off. Lord, hear my prayer. What's that? What does that mean? Licking your chops?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know what to say because when I was positive, this team, everyone in the comments was ripping me a new one. Now that I have a different perspective on a quarterback who I backed for 3 years, who's now playing like he's first in the division. He's Bobby. It's 19-12. He throws a deflected pass. Go watch the game. Ha 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 ha. He almost got the ball intercepted. He's laughing. He thinks this is all a joke because he's so grateful to play football. Great. You're grateful to play football. But you want to know what? I want to be a fan of a winning football team. I've been a fan of a losing football team for the majority of my life. We didn't draft you fifth overall. Fifth as the fifth overall pick for you to be dropping the football every other game and potentially costing us a significant drive in the red zone because you do that every single game. It's absolutely, for me, that is not growth. That he survived this day. Can he play error-free football for one effing game? Because all he had to do today was manage the football game, and they were going to win. And he started off the game with boneheaded throws, check downs, where his guy got walloped. That was on the first drive. Then he got locked out with a penalty, and then he almost fumbled the ball. The first drive was as an offense, as a quarterback, you should not be proud of that. You needed a fourth down to score. Great for you. You see the throw on the third down? You see how often he was missing guys in the red zone? I'm sorry. I am not impressed by our quarterback right now. He's come back and he's played efficient football when he has to. He's always been an efficient quarterback. But when we need him to be to play error-free, good, strong football, what are we seeing here today? Bo Nix had very similar stats to him today, except he had 40 more yards and one more touchdown. You know what the difference was? His team won by 30-something. Your team won by 15 in the fourth quarter. Bo Nix's team won the game in the first quarter against a better football team. That's my problem, is that Tua is supposed to be this elite quarterback. Where's being paid $50 million a year? What's he doing to show it to me? He's doing game management.
See, that's why
I don't pay
right
my quarterback $50 million for game management.
You just revealed it right there. You put them on a pedestal. I never put Tua.
That's my point. I won't get burnt again. I won't do it again.
That's not. First of all, on the bandwagon, you were the homer. On postgame, you were never the homer. Because a couple seasons back, and I could play the reel, you said it was over before it was over. And I said, this team will make the playoffs. They're going to beat the Buffalo Bills and they'll get to the playoffs. You said, no, they won't. No, they won't. And they did. And
when
you
did
remember
they beat the Bills?
2 years ago.
That was week 2.
It doesn't matter. Listen to me. You're saying, oh, I'm this ultra positive. That's only on the bandwagon. Don't lie to yourself. You're revising history, pal. I've been doing this with you for a long time. Don't revise history. Only on the bandwagon are you the homer. Everything else, you're not the homer.
Well, but bandwagon's been canceled, so we don't have that problem anymore.
It's off the wagon.
No, the wagon's been broken for weeks.
All I'm saying is, come on. See, that's my thing. This is why it doesn't, and maybe that's where you need to get to, because I never put Tua on any kind of pedestal. You know that. So none of it ever.
They did.
But I'm not. But they're not me.
I know, but they're not you. I did.
So
why? Because they did. I drank the Kool-Aid, and I won't do it again.
And that's fine. But again, someone who has not drank the Kool-Aid, I was happy with the win today.
Give me my Ricky Vaughn. Give me my Ricky Vaughn with the mohawk, and I'll start believing again.
Okay, you got it. All right, let's go through these games.
Salty fingers Tua, you SOB.
Salty fingers Tua and salty Evan. There you go.
Telling the fans that we don't realize how hard it is, and in 2 consecutive games you go drop the football like a moron because you're so cocky in the pocket that you think you can get out of the pocket like you're freaking Josh Allen, or you think you're Lamar Jackson. Good luck to you. You can't even carry their jock.
I thought it was about McDaniel. It's about Tua tonight. Apparently.
No, because who do you think turned Tua into this? His best friend, his cuddle buddy.
Harsh.
I just must tell you, I love Zach Sealer, and I love Calais Campbell, and I love Emmanuel Ogbah. Talk about game wreckers. Talk about players who try.
Who
are not smiling. Who make their plays and they move on to the next play. Then when they make a mistake, what does Zach Sealer do? He pounds his fist against the ground that he missed the tackle. What does Tua do when he gets a deflected almost interception?
But not everybody's the same. I know, but not everybody's the same. You can't.
Although you want winning quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls, they have ice in their veins.
There's very few.
All the ones who have won Super Bowls.
Yeah, but come on. Trent
Bobby,
Brad Johnson.
Year 5 of the rebuild. That's all I could say. We're in year 5.
But 3 years with 3 years with McDaniel. It's a third year with McDaniel.
Yeah, he's doing great. He's a winning quarterback. He's a 500 catch
I know,
coach. I'm proud of him.
I know you say 5, and I get it because it's the same crew except for Tua. But it's like, it's 3 years under McDaniel, and this year is a disappointment. It's been a disappointment. But again, today's game was better than what they've done. So yes, there's been progression.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
Say so.
Okay.
You win, no problem. You'll have happy Evan next week. You want me to make my prediction for next week? So you guys.
No, wait, just stop. Stop talking. No, do not go into next week. Stick to today. You had a positive note there. What you did so good with Zach Sealer and Calais Campbell. I was proud of you at that end part. Bash at the beach. Yeah, I love it. That's what we got to call it.
Oh, no. It's just, I don't get it. I don't get the yes. Can it be? Look at my mother's coming in now. Now my mom's coming on the show and ripping me in. What's with the moms today?
Yes, Mama Posner in the house.
You want to know why? I'll tell you why I'm frustrated. I'll tell you. I watched a group of 11. I watched a group of 9 and 10-year-olds today.
Okay.
They struggled in the first period. A lot of the plays were happening in their zone, but they kept it 0-0. And then they pushed back and they shoved it back down the team's throat for 2 periods and won the game 4-1. And the game was never in doubt. This game, Bobby, to you could not tell me that throughout the game until Jonnu Smith caught that football, in your mind, the Dolphins sealed that victory. There was never a feeling where we felt that for 2 years, for the majority of the season 2 years ago and the majority of last season, we felt when we went to Washington last year, we knew within the first 2 or 3 minutes, the first 2-3 drives of that game, the game was over. How do you only up by 1 score and you've yet to punt? Name me a team that plays so conservatively, but so dominantly that Jake Bailey never touched the field today to punt the football, but you literally only had a 5-point lead with under 10 minutes left. That's my concern. Yes, a win is a win. Evan should not be sulking.
A great win. No, you said it was a great
win. I'm so excited, guys.
Don't say be cocky now. Don't be arrogant. You said it was a great win.
It's Pavlov's dog, okay? This is the Pavlov's dog experiment. I'm going to start barking when Bobby tells me to bark. So, I'm the carnival barker. So, guys, it's so fantastic, guys. The Dolphins won. Tua was so efficient with a 125 passer rating. Congratulations to Zach Sealer and Emmanuel Ogbah for getting sacks today. Congratulations to Jalen Ramsey for getting an interception. Congratulations for Mike McDaniel for managing your timeouts as best as you could heading into the second half because you wanted to try and score points, but then threw 2 balls to the middle of the field to kill the clock because you didn't feel like scoring. But at least you tried to score. Your plan didn't work exactly. Congratulations on trying to use Jalen Wright only 4 times. Congratulations to only use Raheem Mostert once or twice. Congratulations. I am proud of you for using your tight ends. I'm proud of you guys for Ben not breaking. I'm proud of you that you guys solidified the fact that Brock Bowers was the best player on the field today by a country mile. And you guys still picked up the victory. I like the fact that Jason Sanders made all of his points. There were no misses today. So there were lots of positives to look into today. So in the end, guys, it's a great victory for the Miami Dolphins. Congratulations. We're now second in the division. We haven't been in second in the division all season since the first game of the season. That is my number one positive I could take, is that the Jets are now eliminated. More than likely, they now have 8 losses. The Dolphins only have 6. That's the flowers can be up there with my shirt. That I love the fact when the Jets lose, the Bills are an upper echelon team, but we don't have to worry about that right now. That's not our problem. Our problem are the Denvers of the world and the Indianapolises of the world. But wait, what happened to them today? They both won. Great. So now we're keeping up with them. That's fantastic. Which the team we have to worry the most about? Denver. How Denver do today? They only won by 30. That's great. Fantastic. I'm still proud of the victory. 4-6 is nothing to snuff at. We could be 0-9. We could be 1-8. We could be 2-7. We could be 3-8. So in the end, 4-6 is better than 3-7. So congratulations, Mike McDaniel. You coached a reasonably satisfactory game. I give you your kudos. I give you your flowers. Tua, your stats were very exemplary. We won't even count. Since you recovered the fumble, that doesn't really count. We'll pretend it never existed. It's all good, guys. It's fantastic. I'm proud of you all. Fantastic. I'm proud of our defense when it was 4th down, like Gardner Minshew run for 7 yards and reach over the thing because we didn't feel like touching him. It's okay. But if Tua was there, he would have bowed his head. Maybe some of our defense, maybe one of our secondary. But, oh, yeah, I forgot to mention this. You know who I'm most proud of today? Because we have Kader Kohu. Because Kader Kohu thought that playing football was like playing on a slip and slide. The guy catches the football and I'm going to dive as fast as I can at the bottom of his ankles so I can try to hit him. That is great sound tackling on our football team. Great coaching. But in spite of all that, the Miami Dolphins overcame the stupidity of a lot of our players today. Kudos to Mike McDaniel for his motivational speech at the half to allow our team to overcome and have our victory. I am so proud of the Miami Dolphins for the fact that they have surpassed the 30-point mark and got second place in the division. I am going to wake up tomorrow with a little less stress, knowing that when I look at the standings, we are still in 10th, but we're second in the division, and we scored over 30 points, and we are still the worst offense in the NFL. Congratulations, Miami Dolphins.
Hey, I love it. There you go. There you go. Was that so hard? Look what you did. Yes, yes. Pat yourself on the back. You did good.
Harry Horowitz right here.
There you go. Hey, DSG label. He said, apology accepted, Fitzstanza. There you go. Oh, we love to have fun here on the FTSN post-game show. My goodness, that was great. That was great. That was fun. You see, I like that. That was good. Yeah, look, good job, Stanza. You see, you did good. That was awesome. Oh man. Man, I don't know what else to say. This has been so much fun. This is only an hour.
Let's talk about the NFL. Let's see here.
Yeah,
the Packers. How bad are the Bears? They had a game-winning touchdown. They got a block. A game-winning field goal.
They won
blocked.
I mean, I thought they were going to win it. And also,
Dave Stager must have had a heart attack. The Lions are going to the Super Bowl.
Lions, damn a good team, bro.
Okay, that talk about the Vikings did their job against today. They did their job, 23-13. They did their job. That's okay.
Yeah.
But Darnold didn't have a great game, but they were defensive teams. That's okay. The Rams survived. They played a good day. They beat the Patriots, what's expected. The Saints killed the Browns. Oh my God, the Browns are done. They are simply lost. Richardson did his job. Good for him. 272 yards, no interceptions. Aaron Rodgers. Honestly, at least we're not the Jets. The Jets are an absolute.
That's crazy. I mean, you fired your head coach. You went and signed Rodgers. He got injured last year, all of last year.
Could you have been worse with Zach Wilson? You couldn't be worse than Zach Wilson. And you went to get Devontae Adams.
I think they would have been. I think a lot of I would be shocked if most fans probably would have preferred Zach Wilson, because then they could have probably felt better about, oh, we could just go ahead and switch this up and not be worried about it. But you got to be praying that Aaron Rodgers calls it quits at the end of the year, because this is his team right now.
By the way, it doesn't matter who plays quarterback. Russell Wilson, that defense of Pittsburgh, that is something else.
8-2 on the season.
Mike Tomlin is talk about a
woulda, shoulda, coulda. Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah.
You know.
The Broncos, by the way, Sean Payton needed 2 years there. He needed to find his quarterback. He did it with Drew Brees. Look what he's doing with Bo Nix. Josh Wingate can have his flowers right now.
Yeah.
By the way, if
Doug Peterson's going to get fired, do you think so?
Doug Peterson for sure. But they just don't have a replacement yet.
Yeah.
They don't want to offer something to a coach that mid-season, like someone like a Bill Belichick, who they want to throw money at, it's not going to take a job mid-year with a crappy team.
No.
I will tell you this right now: if Jaden Daniels falters in the end, whoever's team has a better record at the end of the year and has a better standing, Bo Nix, if he continues at this pace, I don't think it's a gimme that they should give it to Jaden Daniels. Because if Jaden Daniels doesn't win it falters, and they start to go on a little bit of a streak, and he starts to come back down to earth, Bo Nix is doing just as well as Jaden Daniels. He has a lot less to work with in Denver. The Seahawks.
Well, you called it on pregame about Bo Nix. I mean, we've been talking about Bo Nix for a long time on this network, especially with Josh Wingate leading the way. But you were saying it before, though, that you would think that he could win Rookie of the Year. I mean, today proved it that he should be in the conversation for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then the 49ers are 500. That is absolutely unbelievable. No one wants that division. No one. That team, the person who's going to win that division is going to be probably 9-8 or 8-9. It could be 8-9. Go be 9-8, because you have the Cardinals, who are what? Who are the Cardinals now? Were the Cardinals 5-5? I think, or 6-5.
I think so. Yeah.
The Seahawks are 5-5. The 49ers are 5-5, and the Rams are 5-5. I think are they all 5-5?
6-4 is the Cardinals.
Yeah,
they're 6-4, and they face Seattle next week.
That division is going to be 9 wins.
That reminds me of the NFC South. That's how the NFC South was for a while.
But all I could tell you right now, and then by the way, I know I'm a Dolphins fan, but I don't care. That they can end the season if they don't. Even if you end the season today, the MVP of this NFL season has already been written, because he is doing more with less.
Yep.
Josh Allen than anybody.
Yeah.
I don't care. Give him his flowers. Jim Kelly did it to us sometimes. Josh Allen is absolutely otherworldly. What he is able to do with that football team, with James Cook and Shakir and Kincaid and that group, and Amari Cooper's injured. The defense is missing players. that is a team that is just a team. We're great. We're not even in their conversation right now. We have a better team on paper. We have better players on paper. We're not a better team. Because in the end, in the NFL, it's not about the players, it's about the team. And we're not the team yet. We're just not there yet. We're nowhere close. We're nowhere close. No. We're a quarterback away. We're a quarterback away. I'm still telling you this right now. That's what actually gets me a little bit when I see what Josh Allen did tonight.
Yeah.
Josh Allen today was 27 of 40 for 262 and 1 touchdown. But when he had to make the big plays, he made the big plays.
Right now, the Chargers are leading 7-3 against the Cincinnati Bengals.
13-6.
Oh, oh, really? Oh, then it hasn't updated mine then. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Justin Herbert, 6 for 6, 123 for 2 touchdowns already.
That's cool.
By the way, okay, I'll give you an example right now. They're 6-3. Maybe that's my perspective. In 1 year, in 9 games, if I told you right now, what is the identity of the Los Angeles Chargers? It is physical, down your throat, run the football, check down, dink and dunk football, and win with your defense. And physical football. You know that's what's happening. You know what their identity is. That's what I'm still trying to figure out. And that's in the first year of a head coach, a seasoned head coach. Our head coach, 3 years in, I still don't know what he stands for. I thought he knew what he stood for, but the moment that was challenged by defenses, he couldn't adjust. And if you're telling me Mike McDaniel's a play designer for checkdowns and simple plays to your tight end, why wasn't he doing that before? You're telling me he's adjusting to it? It took him 3 years to adjust? That's a long time to adjust. When quarterbacks are coming in, they got rid of all these players. Think about this. Sean McDermott got rid of all those great wide receivers, and his team got better this year. Yeah. John Harbaugh got rid of all his wide receivers and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and got J.K. Dobbins and got a stout left tackle, and now they're playing better. So maybe it's not about the wide receivers, but Mike McDaniel doesn't have that build team. He doesn't have a offensive line and complementary wide receivers and a physical football team, but he's trying to play a physical game, which is the problem. That's my concern, is that when he faces a physical football team, they're going to knock them on their ass. And I agree, win, but he's nothing. That's my concern, is this is working against vanilla teams, but this recipe isn't going to work against better football teams because we don't have that identity. We don't have that skill set in important games. You're saying this is good for the playoffs. Our team will not be able to do this against really good playoff teams in the playoffs because their teams are better at doing that than we are no matter what. So we have to find, if we have stout wide receivers, we should be using our speed and using our quickness and using our athleticism to win football games. We're not going to be able to do, Devon Achane's not going to be able to break these ginormous tackles when you're going against these stout teams. That's what I'm saying. It will work now, but they better figure out an alternative heading into the playoffs because they ain't going to last in the playoffs because you're going to play teams that do this a lot better than you.
Yeah, no, they're in the middle of the pack, if not low. I mean, I think no, you're not wrong. And again, what I was saying earlier to you, again, I think I'm trying to go game by game here. But you're right, it's not winning formula. This team hasn't not been having a winning formula to win throughout December because they haven't been, or the playoffs because they haven't been winning throughout this season. And last year was not winning football either because guess what? They lost in the end. They got bounced in the end. So, honestly, the head is broken. Do I think Miami's going to make a run? I'm not ready to say that yet, but I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet on it. But hey, you know what? They did what they couldn't do this season. They beat a bad football team, and they beat them 34-19. I get your point. I understand where you're coming from. I'm just saying I'm taking game by game.
If I had to name you, who played better today, the offense or the defense? If you had to name players, who you think the offense played better?
Yeah. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'll be straight up with you because you said it earlier. I never felt like we were going to lose this game. I was not concerned. That's not how I felt against the Rams. It's not how I felt any point during this season. Today, I actually felt like it was the first time I never left my couch. I never turned it off. I never fell asleep or anything of that nature. I sat there and I was able to watch the game. And at not one point did I feel like, oh God, here come the Raiders. We're screwed.
Okay.
This is the first time all season I felt that way.
So when you were watching that drive for 6 minutes, what were you thinking?
What drive?
The drive that made it 24-19, where Kohu completely gaffed on the tackle. After 6 minutes, watching that drive
shoulder
for
tackle crap, that shoulder tackle crap where he jumped in and let Abdullah. Was it Abdullah who ran in?
Abdullah,
yeah. No, that was a BS play. That was
but
a bad
play.
Saying,
that was 6 minutes worth of drive. What were you thinking during that time? That every time they had a third down, Brock Bowers just.
I'm going to be very again. I'm just being real with you. I never went, oh God, here they go. Even when they scored, I was in the back of my head, did I go, FINS have a field day with this? Yeah, I did. And, if they lost, I knew what I was in for. But I didn't feel at any point, I really did not feel like we were going to lose that game. And they didn't. They didn't. Even when the play was breaking apart, they went and they got that touchdown in the end. And I understand, oh my God, it was a defensive breakdown. Jonnu was wide open. But you know what? When teams, a good or a bad team, doesn't matter. Good teams should take advantage of that type of situation. And Miami did that tonight or today. And so to me, that, but again, I didn't ever felt at no point today that Miami was going to lose. Now, I don't want you to turn around in 2 weeks from now, even though Green Bay has been really, even though they won today and whatever, to tell me, I told you so, because I'm not saying you're wrong about.
I never tell people you've never heard me say the words, I told you so. I just give my perspective.
When you say I was right,
no,
who called
I never said I was right.
No, but I'm saying, Evan, when we go 2 weeks from now, and I'm not saying even 2 weeks, because they might pull out a win.
I will tell you on this network, I will never say I told you so. I just won't be surprised.
If they lost. But you're going to say, who said it?
But I won't be upset. By the way, we don't get is that I'm now at the point with them.
I know what you're saying. I get you.
I'm not getting high if they win. I'm not getting high if they lose. My only concern right now is as they continue to win, we are all here. If we were right now, you're saying to me, Bobby, let's say they lost today.
Yeah.
And let's say they finish the season 6-11.
Yeah.
Or 7-10.
Yeah.
Okay? How is it that anybody on this network could say with a straight face that they finish 6-11 or 7-10, or they finish 10-7 or 9-8 and make the playoffs, or just finish outside the playoffs, that we're all going to stay here and say that the 6-11, the 7-10, the 9-8, or the 10-7 Miami Dolphins, that Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer deserve the right to continue to manage this football team. To me, it doesn't matter what they do the rest of this season, unless they win a playoff game, that those two should be in their positions next season. To me, they already wrote unless they win a playoff game, which means they go out and they only lose one more game the rest of the year, because the way that this is going right now with Indianapolis and Denver, the 9-8 may not do it in this division. The way the other teams continue to win, they, to me, 6 wins or 10 wins, it's irrelevant. If they don't win a playoff game, they should both be fired. That's my content. The more we win, though, the greater excuse Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer have, saying, Stephen Ross, we need one more chance to prove you wrong. That's my problem. I'll admit that. That is my problem.
I know that already. But I will tell you.
And whoever's on here, I don't care if you're Scotty. I don't care if you're Ray Finkel. I don't care if you're the people who left the show. If you are telling me with a straight face that if we're 10-7 and 9-8, that you believe Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer have done a job enough?
10-7, 9-8, but they're not going to go 10.
And they don't win a playoff game,
and they lose.
They deserve their jobs.
Yeah.
You are not. Look, you are worse than you're worse than I've been, because you're with rose-colored glasses. You don't want this team to win because you want me. You're okay with being.
I got what you're saying.
Mediocre.
I will say, again,
I want to be above the Mendoza line. Just being funny for those who watch baseball, people just finishing over the Mendoza line.
If they don't go to the playoffs, win a playoff, they all should be fired. There's no way this team should be in the position that they're in right now. They're all, to me, even if I was the owner of this football team and they're 4-6 and they won the way they did, they'd still be on very hot seats right now. Very hot seats.
They are on very hot seats no matter what happens this season.
Yeah.
They don't get a playoff win.
No, again, I agree. I'm with you. But
But
I'm just not jumping. I'm not, you know what I mean? You're there. I'm still here, but I agree with you 100%. They're all on very hot seats.
You want to know why? Because you've stayed even keel for 3 years. I started off very, very high.
That's my point. I started off high. I said earlier.
I fell down very quickly.
Yes. You see? We're on the same page, bro. I got you, my man. We're right here, bro. That's what I was telling you. You had him on a pedestal. I was in here. So to me, it's not like, oh, to you, it's like, what the hell? You were let down. For me, I'm like, all right, well, here we go. There you go. I'm with you. I think and most Dolphin fans are. It's ridiculous being mediocre after you spent all this money on all this talent, premier talent, and you gave all this hype, and you're smiling and doing all this and show me the money, and you're doing all this crap to be 4-6 on the season, not guaranteed a playoff spot. That's crazy. No fan should be happy about that.
Nope.
About the way this season has gone.
Nope.
I'm talking about today. I was happy with the result today, and I'm just being honest. I was happy with again. I never felt like we were going to lose this game at this point. I was watching this game. I was like, okay, this is winning football today. I could see them. They're doing this against a bad team. This is the way they should be playing. This is what good teams do. They take advantage of the bad situations. They take advantage of bad calls and stupid plays. A veteran like Max Crosby, one of the best edge rushers in football, one of the best players in football, does a dumbass play punching Eichenberg, gives Miami another opportunity. What does Miami do? Drives down the field, and here's Max Crosby at the end of the game. Miami should do that, and they did. They did that today. Does that mean all is right in the world for the Miami Dolphins and the fans? Hell no. We're still 4-6. We still have a long road to go. And guess what? You could go 9-8 and just miss the playoffs. You should get fired. Not that at the end of the year, all fire and brimstone. Because you better hope you get there. Just today's game. Miami Dolphins they're not a playoff team. They're not. That's what's crazy. Right? But nobody's thinking that right now.
But the thing is that for me, we did this once in a while with Ryan Fitzpatrick. We had games like this when we
I get it.
We did this with Tua in the Brian Flores era. Games like this would make us all happy because we're seeing growth in a rebuilding franchise. This is supposed to be,
but that's fair. That's fair.
This is supposed to be this is supposed to be in Montreal. You had this in Florida. Florida, you guys as the Panthers team, you guys struggled for many, many years. Got some good picks. Then you got Matthew Tkachuk, which is sort of like getting Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
And what happened? You got a good coach in Paul Maurice, an experienced coach, and you got to the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years in a row. What do the Miami Dolphins do? You grow your team through the draft, similar to what the Panthers did. You have a solidify with the Ekblads and the Sasha Barkovs of the world, and you Carter Hagees, and you go get Sam Bennett and Sam Reinhart and Forsling and that group. And I know this team very, very well. I'm a hockey expert too. And what do? You go to the Super Bowl. The Miami Dolphins tried to do the same thing, but we've shat our pants. Because right now, you look at the team, Inter Miami should be disappointed in their season. They got Lionel Messi and they lost to Atlanta in the first round. They should be embarrassed. The Marlins are crap, but at least the Heat do the best they can every year. They're consistent and they're in it. And they've been mid-level, but they've won championships. The Miami Dolphins are the one team that we've always said that is supposed to be that if they win or they do something, Bobby, the Dolphins winning a playoff game would have more of a reaction to Miami sports fans than the Heat or the Panthers making it to the Stanley Cup final. Not winning, but getting to the Stanley Cup final. Us just winning a playoff game, a divisional playoff game, there will be riots in the streets of Miami.
Yeah,
that's how burnt we are. And this is but the team is so excited that they won their fourth game of the year.
I got it. We're going to leave it at that. I think we're going to leave it at that. I think we're all on the same page. In the end of it all, we know where Stanza's coming from now at the end of it. I know where I stand. I think DSG Label's on the same thing. Orion.
I love DSG you know what? Label.
Let me just shout out, though, again, 72 Dolphins remain the only undefeated team in NFL history after the Buffalo Bills defeated the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me give a shout out to everyone who's tuned in today, whether you're watching on Instagram, X, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, We appreciate you all watching and participating. We love to have fun here. This is what we love about post game, and this is how we treat the post game show. Raw emotion. Nothing's doctored, nothing's whatever. We go back and forth. We have a blast. Don't forget, next week we'll be on again. Pregame show, 11 a.m. Eastern time for the New England Patriots game, and we'll be back 8 p.m. Eastern time for the post game show. Let's see, what's tomorrow? It's Audrey's birthday, my oldest daughter's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday to Audrey. Tuesday is the 19th. We have the Canes Wear podcast at 8 p.m. 7 p.m. Real Talk, FINS Talk with Steve Malloy. And also we have the return of Doll's Diaries with Doll. She'll have a special guest on, so that'll be really cool to see. We'll have a full house on Tuesday night. Wednesday will be East 10th Street Boys. If you haven't seen it yet, guys, if you love wrestling, go tune in to the No Holds Barred. The last episode on Saturday night, we usually do those. And it was Saturday afternoon. We had it in the afternoon, and that was a fun show. We did top 10 best wrestling moments in wrestling history, and that was a lot of fun. Do I have my list here? I don't, because Evan is. Well, I do. My number one was Hogan is the third man. That was my number one. Hogan is the third man in the NWO. And Lesnar beating Taker was number 2. And of course, Josh Kimmel just does everything AEW. No, he didn't do that, but still, he did put a couple AEW ones in there. But anyway, we appreciate you all tuning in. That's for the Stanza. I'm Bobby Finstock. We'll see you all later. Like, subscribe, and most importantly, Dolphin fans, especially today.
Salty chip.